Hello. Welcome back. If you're coming back, I suppose. Not playing as Axton. Playing as my unnamed Gaige. Suppose there's been some Borderlands news since my last video. On the center frame. And I'm not like zoomed in properly, but I have to edit my camera every time I open it. Alright, well that is what it is for now. Anyways, yeah, new tales from Borderlands. Pretty much. I loved the first one. It was a good time. Played it with a friend. Tales is a good... I guess now it's a series, so yeah, it's a good series. I wasn't a huge fan of Telltale games in general, if I'm being honest. I think it was just more one of those things to where it's like, oh, I love Borderlands 2, I'll play Tales. I did, and it was great. And not only was Tales canon, but a lot of the choices you make, well, I mean, not necessarily the choices you make, right? But a lot of things that played out in the story and stuff have a direct impact in Borderlands 3. That was nice to see. I like that a lot. It does seem to be a focus on new characters, which I'm okay with, but I do feel like there's still a lot of loose ends in general, just in the Borderlands universe. That does make me, like, wonder, oh yeah, I'm a higher level than the last time you saw me? Because I was farming fastballs. Speaking of which, I got one, but I'm not a high enough level to use it. That's okay. Anyway, like I was saying, Tales, good. New Tales, maybe good. Hopefully it tells us a bit of what happened to the Tales characters that weren't in Borderlands 3. I would like to know. Reese was in the trailer, which he wasn't. Yeah, it would be nice to see what happens. Like, otherwise, like, I don't mind the new characters and the new story as long as they address some of the old story beats they didn't tie up. You know? I feel like Borderlands 3,
You've been off the echo for hours. Thought you might have got brain or something. But you ain't so.
Yay. Yeah. I feel like Borderlands 3 was one of its worst flaws, and it had many worst flaws, but one of its worst flaws was certainly not really giving any credence to pre-sequel at all. Because, you know, I don't know, people didn't like pre-sequel that much. I did, but I do feel like it should have still been respected somewhat. Like, we didn't see that one Guardian from that game at all. That war never happened. We don't know where Athena went. I mean, presumably in Tales, right, when Athena's, like, married to Jane, that's where Athena went, but I don't know. Because, yeah, she's also in Tales. So, it, you know, it links together nicely, somewhat. But yeah, I'm excited for the new Tales. Hope it adds instead of subtracts from the overall story. Tomato juice.
That was awesome. Oh, howdy! I didn't see you there. Name's Ellie. My brother Scooter told me you was coming.
Hi, Ellie.
Especially not one so cute. Trying to rescue your pal Roland from the dam, huh? I bet you could fool those bloodshots if you drove up in one of their custom trucks. I got one right over yonder that I crushed with the driver still inside. My bad. Well, I gotta be hella technical in the shop, but most of the parts were nailed.
yeah, we just
With some more of the bandits' trimmings. Spikes, buds,
are going to head out soon
you could probably scavenge that stuff from the bandit patrols around here.
and take out some cars. So we can build a bandit
Blow
technical.
up some bandit cars and grab the crap from the wreckage. And don't pay 'em any mind if they start
Which,
calling
it's probably my favorite car. I liked the mono wheel the most for a while in Borderlands 3. But ultimately, I think I prefer the bandit technical. Not in this game either, in Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3's driving just feels way better. But it does come with the caveat that you literally can't drive anywhere on Mayhem 10 or 11 in Borderlands 3, or else your car will be aced. Where's the car? Guess they're all over here. I thought there was 2 in that first area, but the second one just spawned correctly. I think even if it messes up the initial spawns, they will spawn out of new garages after a while, so it's not that bad. I think. I was just thinking, actually, how there's a couple people in the Borderlands YouTube community that like Borderlands 3 the most. And I don't know, I imagine that's because they don't think that grinding for legendaries is particularly fun. Especially when there's random rolls on them.
Almost got a bandit car? Roland can handle whatever the bloodshots dish out, but I generally don't like letting him get tortured any longer than I have to.
So, an example being like, you can get an unkempt herald in this game, right? By killing a fairly early game enemy. You know, you have to kill him for a while to get him, to drop it, usually. And then, even if he does drop it, it needs to be, you prefer it to be double penetrating, right? But, the chances of that happening are significantly lower than just a normal drop, and a normal drop isn't that high in the first place. Anyway, so they like Borderlands 3 because it opens up that, as well as sliding and clambering and general gun feel, I think, just feeling a little bit better than Borderlands 2. But yeah, that brings me to the point I was trying to make, is that a lot of people say gameplay is king. Like, with gamers, gameplay is king, right? Just like, you wanna sell a game, show good gameplay. And I don't know. Like, for me, I guess that gets me through the door. Maybe? I'm not even sure about that. I gotta be honest. I love Borderlands 2 because I love the world, and I love the characters, and I like, you know, I enjoy the lore and all that shit. Like, feels good.
Got your car ready over there. Let's make some modifications and you'll be good.
And I feel like if it didn't have any of those things and it just had the, like, if the story was bad, there was no handsome Jack, like, you know, the characters weren't funny, all of those things. But the gameplay is Borderlands 3. I don't think I would have liked this game. And I don't think I would have bought Borderlands 3 because I like this game so much, so I bought Borderlands 3, basically. So I don't know. it's... I feel like all my favorite games... I mean, they're not my favorite games because they have good stories. But, all my favorite games seem to have good stories, you know?
Wanna help me with something? Have you seen those hood ornaments the Hodunks made of me? I think they're trying to mock me.
Me or something, but that design is badass. Could you scrap some of their cars and bring me a few of those ornaments?
Like, let's take Pokemon Explorers of Time and Sky and Darkness as my example for this, right? I think that game is incredible and it's amazing and I love it to death, but you know, if you put it up next to maybe like Hollow Knight in terms of gameplay, I think most people would agree with me that it just doesn't compare, really.
Digging it. Now grab the ornament. My mom Moxie always told me if I slim down, men would pay me more mind. Shows what she knows. I got these boys bending over backwards just to get my attention, and I didn't have to do nothing.
If you're wondering why I'm doing this side quest, I just need the XP.
But Moxie kept hassling me about working for her, putting on baked up noodles and clothes. I just got sick of her nagging and came out here to make it on my own. That and I was worried Scooter might have a crush on me. Man, would you look at that design? Like an eagle soaring through the midnight sky. Only the eagle's like 300 pounds with a kick-ass rack.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure plenty of people on DeviantArt would pay you to draw a 300-pound eagle with a kick-ass rack, so...
You got another ornament. Just put those ornaments all around the garage. This place is gonna look badass once they're up.
Let's go, let's decorate this place with all these super cool hood ornaments.
People are gonna see that when they come in and be like, yeah, that one's my favorite.
Let's get you
They look all the same.
Mm-hmm. That one's looking good.
Oh,
Explosions,
Thanks for the
fans, and
afterburner.
interior design. Hell of a day.
the afterburner is fun. I like to have one on me. I would rather keep the Vault Hunter's relic, because, well, you know what? We don't need it right now. Whatever. Let's use this. Lets you boost more. Makes you faster. Also, I'm not going to drive people crazy and not spend my 1 point. So let's just buy more health, reckon.
Now that looks like the car of a psycho murderer. I'm digging it. Get back to the Bloodshot Dam and try honking your way in again.
You know, if I like this car, does that make me a psycho murderer? Is that what that means? Maybe. Maybe it does. But I can live with that. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I could live with it if I got, like, 30 to life in prison.
That looks like one of ours. Let him in while I try to get Iberian back on the horn.
There is actually one thing about Borderlands. I mean, to be fair, nothing is free from criticism, especially not from me, because I'm a natural-born complainer. But
My favorite thing. Terminated.
Blank Steak is kind of built up for a while. You know, you're like, oh, shoot, it's Blank Steak. That's kind of cool. In my first couple of playthroughs of this game, I assumed we would fight him eventually. It's just like, oh, you know, he must just be later in the game or something.
Hell yes! Can't believe you only got third place in the science fair.
We got an intruder! Get him, Bambo!
Anyway, we're gonna fastball this guy and no longer exist.
Watch out, they got a badass.
Wait, death trap.
I am the strongest girl alive!
Oh, deliverance. That's nice. I can't hit anything. This gun actually reminds me of the Anarchy in Borderlands 3, which is an awesome gun. Also, just in case you're wondering, this deliverance is incredibly, incredibly lucky. Just, you know, in case you didn't know that already. This kind of came out of nowhere.
You're in? Great. Roland should be around here somewhere. I'm sure you can handle yourself, but if anything happens to Roland, make sure nothing happens to Roland.
We have iridium. Not really. Say I'd like to go and buy some stuff, but seems unlikely. It's okay.
Eat metal, Dad!
Yes. Me, I'm lost.
Best robot ever!
Oh no, I couldn't open the save. I'm sorry that my skill points are like everywhere. I just figured I might as well have a point in Anarchy, because, you know,
Asking much for Roland.
it's Anarchy.
$1 million! Hello? This thing on?
And then while I was buying the Ricochet skill, I was like, hold on.
Their asses out of Sanctuary.
By itself, this isn't that good. Oh, right. There's so much talking in this game that it distracts me sometimes from my own talking. Blank Steak. Thought you were gonna fight him. Like on my third playthrough, I realized that actually during this mission, he just gets killed by like a loader bot. We never see him. Despite him having his like own little personal model in the corner, he doesn't actually. We never see his body anywhere. It just dies. So. Rip Flank Steak, I guess. So I guess I could pick up this lore because I'm doing like a full playthrough.
Roland, I can't help but notice the bloodshots. You're gonna be some serious firepower. If you're going to have a chance against them, you will need to up your arsenal. You could always arm your men with some high-quality munitions from my store. But for me, those bloodshots will be dead in no time.
I don't know what's hitting.
Rain on my
Also, I've probably said this already, but whatever. You know what? Half of making videos like this is knowing that sometimes you are a rerun machine, and that's okay. And the shield's just better. But what I was gonna say is, careful pressing X. Borderlands 2 is surprisingly difficult. I mean, admittedly, the fastball is surprisingly undifficult, but take my word.
Okay, Hyperion. 100,000 bucks.
Right in the wing.
Final offer. Let's hold it back and let's negotiate already.
Hyperion wants Roland bad. Even if they don't buy him from the Bloodshots, they'll be coming for him. You better hurry.
Alright, I went down on purpose here. Also, second wind is so much slower in this game than it is in Borderlands 3 and Antina's. Oh, speaking of this, I'm glad that border that says play Wonderlands is gone. It was really annoying.
Accuracy's overrated anyway.
Also, I am attempting to die strategically here. Ideally, you don't want to die at all because you still lose anarchy if you die. I don't have a lot of anarchy generation at the moment. I mean, you know, more than just normal loading. Also, more lore.
Dear Bloodshots, I can't help but notice the Crimson Raiders. You are fighting pack some serious firepower. If you are going to have a chance against them, you will need to up your arsenal. You could always arm your
Yep.
men with some high-quality munitions from
We can
my
sell it.
store. If you buy from me, those Crimson Raiders will be dead in no time.
You know, I appreciate Marcus's hustle and all. Doesn't he, like, live there? I mean, you'd
Look at
think
those murderous Bloodshots.
Sanctuary being
Pushes
destroyed
the
would be a
Pandora
problem.
better without their scum. That's all I want to do. Clean up this planet. And that means I gotta kill bandits like you. Bloodshots, like all those Crimson Raider idiots in Sanctuary. Hell, I'm happy to do it.
The Resistance needs the info Roland gathered on the vault. We know Hyperion wants it open, but we don't know why. If you rescue Roland, we might have a shot at stopping Jack.
Can't help but feel like we need another pre-sequel for Borderlands 3. I know Commander Lilith is, like, kind of supposed to be that, but the game just came so out of left field. The story was so bad. The characters were so bad. Like, it's just made me frown.
The strongest girl alive!
Into the hole, I guess. Oh, Death Trap died. A probably somewhat non-surprising thing that happens very often. That didn't happen. Hold on, I need to get up to you so I don't, like, die for real. Tina's feels so bad to
Alright,
play.
some more anarchy.
Like, adversely, Tina's is kind of like the opposite of Borderlands 3. Maybe not the opposite. I feel like gameplay-wise, it just feels so good. Because pretty much the entire game is just in fight for your life. Which isn't fun.
Bloodshots! Roland's Raiders are tearing us up! Their guns are just too damn good! But I've come up with a solution to this problem! Sack the hell up and stop dying all the goddamn time! And quit suggesting we buy guns from that Marcus Jagoff! He lives in Sanctuary, so he's just as much of a double-crossing, holier-than-thou jackass as Roland's Raiders!
Bye-bye.
You're not ready for me! Oh, this does not conform to my reputation.
Anyways, this is why you farm a fastball. The game is hard. It's less hard when you have a fastball. Admittedly, the shotgun's doing a lot of work too, but can't really help you with that. Doesn't Gaige have an explosive talent? Oh, that's over here, right? Explosive damage. No. I mean, it's kind of an explosive talent, but it's not what I was thinking of. I can't help but feel like the devs of this game maybe didn't totally understand their own game. I only say this because Gaige has quite a few shield regeneration talents and stuff, but a lot of them, like Buck Up, for example, are just, well, they're like in her melee tree, right? You don't want to have any shields. You don't want shield recharge delay. You don't want shield capacity. You don't want any of that stuff if you're going a melee build, because the only way to melee build in Borderlands 2 is by getting a Love Thumper or a Hide of Terramorphous, and well, I don't need to tell you that it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
God damn it, Hyperion! I didn't get half my guys killed kidnapping the most wanted criminal on Pandora just so you can ignore me! How about 50,000 bucks?
Okay, I was probably going on a rant about how Tiny Tina's gameplay's bad. I think OP8 was not a very good system. I think UVHM was fine. OP8 was not fun. It sucked. And OP10, way, way worse. Somehow. Like, I don't know how. It's worse, though. Mayhem is kind of a cute idea, you know. I liked the random bullshit that could happen, but there was no reason to do it because the game was already over and the only repeatable content was the Malawan takedown and the other one that wasn't as fun. Yeah, so that's the only reason you do it, and then Mayhem 11 came out, which keeps like all the good guns and the hard enemies, but you don't have to have the really like bullshit modifiers. So it kind of became pointless again. It's just like, why did this have to be in there? Like, they took out UVHM, Because people were complaining after the pre-sequel that UVHM was annoying because they didn't want to play the game 3 times. Which I get, but you don't have to do it, right? Although admittedly, one thing that Mayhem Levels did do that may have been not necessarily an on-purpose thing, or just a random side effect, is that you could literally just play on Mayhem 1, put Loot Explosion on. Oh yeah, you can't throw grenades and fight for your life. And all of your guns in normal mode would scale to your level, making True Vault Hunter mode being in Borderlands 3 at all completely pointless. Like, I love the max level loot grind in Borderlands, but I feel like just UVHM Borderlands 2 is the best. You know, just killing raid bosses, getting save crystals, getting your gear. Just going through levels like this. It's the best way to do it. Well, maybe it's not the best way to do it, which is why they've been trying to do it different ways, but it's the best way they've done it. And Chaos Chambers, while mildly entertaining, Chaos levels are ass and shouldn't be in Tina's, and they suck, and Chaotic Gear sucks. And the way that whole system works is bad. It's way worse than Mayhem levels and OP levels. It somehow gets worse every time. Like, OP levels sucked, but at least they were additive. Mayhem levels sucked, but they were pointless. Chaos levels suck, and they just suck. They just suck. Like, go away, man.
I've been using it to roast my food and girlfriends up. Marcus is a god. Me and the boys got an idea. A good idea. You see, a great idea.
Fire.
We build him a shrine. Big shrine, beautiful shrine. And he'll keep giving us guns. More guns. More guns. More guns!
Anyways, they really like Marcus here. Who's this?
Vault Hunter. Good to finally meet you in person. Hell of a job fighting through those bloodshots. This'll just take a second.
Whoa, he was just faking it. He actually is a badass the whole time.
Well, that's that. Now let's see about getting out of here. Vault Hunter! You gotta stop this thing! Let go of me,
And
damn
that's
it!
how Handsome Jack pays ransoms. Long time no see, Roland. Soldier! This way!
I find it weird that they bothered having the exploder run in here and blow open the door when there's another door over here that's just open. I don't know. Anyway, gonna go open this chest real quick. And then we are going to ramp up this episode.
I could use some help!
Son of a bitch!
Rolling
Taking him to the
things
top of the
out.
dam. Get there quick.
The timer for when he goes to Friendship Gulag. Well, I lost it. I was gonna quit anyway, so it's not that bad. Timer for when he goes to Friendship Gulag is, does not start until we load the next one. So. Guess you're gonna worry anyway. Just worry away, I guess. And yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.